Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. And what does being authentic mean, or how can you be more authentic? I look around the world today and I see a lot of clones, man. I see a lot of people too afraid to be themselves. And I can say this because I've always been someone that hasn't had a problem being myself, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I've always kind of, went away from the crowd. Not always purposely, sometimes purposely because they're walking off the edge of a cliff these days. But I always kind of like saw myself as I didn't want to do something because someone thought it was cool or because someone wanted me to do something some way. So I see a lot of people these days that I think it's in our human nature to fit in. We kind of have a herd mentality. And, oh, hey, Charles. And not to say that, it's always been, I don't know, it's always been this way, though. I think the people who kind of control the world might, see that we have the herd mentality and try to herd us into the direction that they want. And that's why I think that being authentic these days is more important than ever. And I just see a lot of people, once they find out something's cool or trendy, they wear, those kind of clothes, they speak in that manner. Like, I don't really like to try to use lingo that gets popular. Like, there's always a new word, and like one of the new ones that I really don't like is woke, and it just like makes me cringe because like half of these people aren't really awake at all. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to judge at all, but I just see a lot of people just falling into the pattern. And these days, like, being conscious and all this stuff is like becoming the new direction. And I just don't think like there's a lot of authenticity in that. And I feel like spirituality especially is your own journey. And you kind of should be doing your own thing in that realm, and you shouldn't be following the pack and saying things that other people are saying. It's really important to come up with your own ideas. So, like I said, I always had no problem being myself, but I can see the reason why a lot of people, they're like afraid of being themselves, and I don't know really where that comes from, but I think it is, not fitting in, and if I'm myself, then people aren't going to accept me, and there are people who won't accept you, but do you really want to be around those people who don't accept you for being you? And, I see certain people when they're around other people, they won't act the same as like when they're just around me. And now I've been told that I have, because I've always been myself, that I have a way of making people feel comfortable about being themselves when they're around me, especially when we're just alone and there's no one else around. So, I think that being authentic, that's a big value that you can add to society if you're really yourself and you don't really have, like, of course you always have a little bit of judgment toward yourself that, like, you're constantly working to get away. But the more you can be yourself, the more you're going to help other people be themselves just by being in their presence. Because, like, I'm definitely a weird person, but I think it's the fact that I'm that weird and I'm not afraid to show it that other people kind of let their guard down around me, and then they start becoming themselves. And it's really inspiring to see that happen. And I just feel like we really need to take some time and, be alone and figure out who we really are and start expressing it more. If you want to, like, do something, I feel like you shouldn't let anyone else's opinion hold you back. And sure, like, there are certain things that you might not want to do in public that you might deep down want to do, like if you're vegan or something, you want to like throw fake blood on someone wearing a fur coat. Like, that's you really expressing yourself, but like you got to have some limitations to things like that. Like, I don't agree with that form of activism at all. And one thing that I really want to mention is how raw food really helps me become more authentic, because it gives me the energy and it gives me the confidence. I think it's just the electricity in the food. It's giving me everything I need and nothing that I don't. I have nothing going down in my digestion that's like holding me back. from, experiencing life at its fullest. And raw food really helped me come into my own and, get that energy that I needed to completely be myself. And, there are times when I, I kind of hold back a little bit, but I think that, as I get older and older, and most people realize this too, you see older people and they just, like, a lot of them just do whatever they want because they finally, came to the realization that, nothing really matters that way. Like, you gotta be yourself and you gotta, like, say what you mean and mean what you say. So I think this younger generation is getting caught up in, fitting into the norms and acting cool. And I just see so many people just trying to act cool. And to me, it's so much of a turnoff. Like, not only to someone that I'd be wanting to date or something like that, but definitely someone that I want to, spend my time with and be friends and grow that, friendship bond and that relationship. Because, I don't want to be with someone that's fake, all the time. I don't want to hang around with people that, are watching, the news and reading tabloids and caring about what other fake, celebrities, not that they're not real, but what they're portrayed as is this fake image. So then all these other people are trying to be that fake image. And I just think it's really sad. And I think it's really important that we really focus on what's true in our heart and express it to our best ability, And I just wanted to make this video quick today because I was thinking about it. And yeah, I just really want to help inspire people in my life, which I've been told I do, which is a really cool thing, to be more of themselves and, like, not care as much what people think. Like, you gotta do you no matter what. Like, you can't do anything else. You can't be anything else. And not everyone will pick up on that. Unfortunately, some people, I don't know if they don't have the ability to see the fakeness, but, the people who are being real out there, you can spot it in a second. You can spot when someone says something to try to get a reaction from someone else, but it's not something they would normally say, or they do something in that way, or they're dressing a certain way and they really care about how they dress, but it's like because it's what's popular, it's not because what they really want to do. And yeah, I think this day and age we really need to start trusting ourselves more and becoming, who we really have been all along, instead of like what society wants us to be, or what our parents want us to be, or what our significant other wants us to be. And that's another thing. I find a lot of times relationships are built, and this is why I've kind of stayed away from, dating and all this stuff, like, for the most part. Because, I see a lot of people just kind of faking it in the beginning and not really being themselves, and then to attract that person. But, if you can't be yourself with someone that you're going to be intimate with, then what's going to happen a year later? Like, you're going to realize, like, wow, like, I want to be myself around this person now, but they think of me, or maybe even like a month later, 2 months later, but they think of me as this person that I was pretending to be so that they would like me. And, that's pretty sad. And, when I was younger, I fell into that trap, but, I think for the past, like, 7 or 8 years, I've definitely never done that. And before it was just like, oh yeah, I like that music, when I didn't really. But, little white lies, to make someone feel okay. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's being honest. Like, it's better not to, like, hurt someone's feelings that way. But when you're, like, lying about, like, what you like to do, or, things like that, or, like, if you're dressing a certain way because you hear that they like that, or, it's very interesting how we give a lot of ourselves up for other people. And if you really want to attract someone in your life, you have to be yourself, and then you want to find someone that, like, loves you for you, and you want to love someone for them, and you want to try to cut through that bullcrap. But yeah, so that is what I think it means to be authentic, or what I think that I'm seeing in the world about people being authentic and true to themselves. So just remember that again, you can't be anyone else. Like, you can only be yourself. And one thing that I do in these videos, except for the ones that I edit sometimes, but I didn't have anything written down. You might be able to tell, because, I mean, you know, my videos are what they are. But I just have a topic, and I might think for like 2 minutes of like a couple points I want to bring up, but then I just want to come at you guys like with my true feelings and with my true thoughts, without a filter, without anything like making me, I never have a script, you know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, I can connect with you guys a lot better that way, because you can really see that I'm just a real dude that's just like talking to you guys from my heart. And then I get more of you guys like connecting with me because I'm being myself. So I think that's really awesome. And yeah, so that is my video for today, guys. I hope that you can be more authentic today and just really let yourself be yourself. That is something that I've been working on for a long time, and you know, I'm getting better at it all the time. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.